Hi, I'm Eric Knowles, and this is our Member Connection, and I'm so excited to be here with you again today as we have another amazing guest. You know, this thing that we do, it's all about our membership, and today I have the privilege of having one of our longtime members, Mr. Bill Warren. Bill,
Good morning. Good morning.
man, it is so good to see you. So good to have you in the studio.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for the invitation.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's get right down to it. Design, resource,
Benefits Design Resources.
benefits, design, resources. I know I was going to mess it
That's
up.
okay. That's good. It's 3 words, but
Yeah.
BDR.
BDR, benefits, design, resources.
Exactly.
Yeah, so let's let the folks know what BDR is all about. First of all, let's not even go there.
Okay.
Let's talk about Mr. Bill Warren.
Okay.
You know, you've been a member of the chamber for quite a while.
Since 2005,
Wow.
to be exact.
Yeah.
One of the first things I did when I started my business was join your chamber.
Right.
So I know exactly when I became a member. It's the year I started my business.
Okay. And at that time, I may have been the chairman of the board at that time. At least I was on the board.
You were on the board.
Yeah.
Definitely on the board. Yeah.
And so what propelled you, like you said, you started your business in 2005, 2004, 2005, but you thought it was important that you join the Miami-Dade Chamber, and I'm sure other chambers, because the one thing that I say, it's not just being a member of our chamber, but being member of other chambers as well.
Exactly. You know, when you're starting, well, give you a little history. I had been in corporate America for 20 years.
Right.
Before I ventured out on my own. I had worked for several large insurance companies in insurance and employee benefits, but for the company, I worked for Travelers, Florida Blue, formerly Blue Cross Blue Shield of Florida, United Healthcare. But, you know, corporate America, love it, but I had always had this desire, this pulling to start my own business.
Right.
And I just decided, really the year before, because you never know when's the right time to do something. You always
Right.
want to say, is this the right time to do it? But my dad always had a saying that if you wait for the right time to do something, you will never do anything.
Right,
So you
right.
got to just step out there. And I stepped out there on faith in 2005 from my corporate position to start my own business. And of course, you know, doing a business plan and, you know, tracking and making some plans on where you want your business to go and how you're going to drive business to your new business into your organization. You know, one of the first things that I did was join chambers.
Right.
You know, I wanted to meet other business people. And the best way to do that is not necessarily knocking on doors, but you can get more bang for your buck, get more
Right.
involved with more people by
Right.
joining chambers.
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
yeah, and I knew about the chamber. And matter of fact, I had gone to some events when I was in corporate America representing my company. But once I started my business, this was one of the first chambers that I joined.
Right.
Absolutely.
And you know, that's interesting to your point of having the foresight, the fact that you were in corporate America, and you know, most corporations, they, for lack of a better word, they are doing, as I would say, being a good corporate citizen, and so they, you know, they are out in the community and being engaged in chambers, et cetera. But the one thing, you had the foresight to understand that you as a business person, in order to grow your business, you had to be out there in the community. And chambers are definitely one way of connecting beyond, as you said, not just cold knocking on doors or picking up that phone. I actually, I don't know if you know this, I actually sold insurance while I was in college.
Okay.
I worked for Metropolitan Life Insurance
Okay.
Company.
Okay.
And you know, you sit in there and you pick up the phone and make those cold
Dollar for dollars, right? Dollar for
making
dollars.
those cold calls
Yeah.
all day long. And if there was ever the term of an entrepreneurship and having to hunt, you have to get out there and hunt every day. So what you know, like you said, you were in corporate America working for corporations. What brought you towards the insurance field?
Well, I've been in insurance all my life since starting a professional adult career. What happened, I went to Virginia State University, HBCU, in Petersburg, Virginia, and they have the placement office there that helps you find jobs, helps seniors get appointments, and corporations would come in and you would go out and make an appointment with the corporations that was on the list of companies coming in.
Right.
And one of my advisors said, well, what you may want to do is interview with some companies that you may not be too interested in.
Right.
To prepare yourself so that when the company that you want to interview with, you'll be more prepared. So one of the companies, Travelers, came aboard as a company doing interviews. I wasn't too interested, but I said, let me interview with this company, Travelers Insurance Company. Because one thing I knew I wanted to be in commercial sales. I wanted to sell business to business. I knew that. So Travelers came in, I interviewed with them, honing my skills on interviewing,
Right.
and interviewed with other companies. But to my surprise, Travelers was very interested in me.
Right.
Very interested in me. And I'm like, insurance? I mean, I'm not so sure. 'Cause I thought insurance wasn't going to fulfill what my career goal was
Right.
to be in commercial sales. But they spoke to me about this department called Group, Employee Benefits,
Okay.
where you sell to businesses for their employees' insurance. So it kind of interested me.
Piqued your interest.
Yeah, it kind of piqued my interest. So they flew me to the home office,
Wow.
did some interviews.
And here you are,
and-
21, 22 years old, getting flown. So
Right.
that kind of excited you, I'm sure, a
Excited
little
me,
bit.
they treated me royally when I got there. And I'll never forget the woman who interviewed me. Her name was Cynthia Johnson.
Wow.
She was a nice lady, and she followed me. And then once I got the job, what they did back then, they recruited 13 people, all college students from all over the country.
Okay.
Brought us into the corporate office and trained us in insurance from the bottom up.
Right.
I mean, we were there for like 8 months behind
Wow.
the desk training, and you had to take the job willing to relocate to anywhere in the continental U.S.
Okay.
I'm 21, I'm open, I'm going.
Right.
But at the time, I really wanted to go to Washington, D.C.,
Right.
New York, Philadelphia. And when after the 8 months, they said, we're going to send you to Miami.
Oh, wow. So that's how you ended up in Miami.
That's how I ended up in Miami.
Oh, wow.
And I can tell you, the first 2 years I was here, this was back in the 80s.
Right.
The first couple of years I was here, every opportunity that I had, they said, you have any comments? Yes, I want to transfer. Yes, I want to leave. After about 3 years, that message began to taper, and I'm like, I'm kind of liking it here.
Right.
Now, man, wild horses are going to get me away. I mean, I love this town. It takes a
Wow,
while
that's
for it to grow on
interesting.
you, but,
Yeah.
I had some opportunities to leave over the years, but I love Miami.
Right.
And this is where my network is. This
Right.
is where
This is where you built your business. So, like you said, you do a lot of corporate sales, benefits, et cetera. Obviously, we are a business organization.
Right.
Can you talk about the importance of insurance for your business, for your employees, and in the different areas that you cover?
Sure. Employee benefits are really vital for most businesses to have a plan, because employees go to work for a company and they have an expectation that that employer is going to offer them some kind of insurance. It's a way to attract and retain good people, because if you're not offering it, because insurance, if you try to buy it on the open market, it's very expensive.
Right.
It can cost, for a family, it can cost upward of $3,000 a month if you try to buy it out on the market yourself. But
Right.
that's why many people expect to get an insurance plan from their employers. And I work with small to medium-sized businesses to implement plans. They try to make them as affordable as possible. Because I used to work for many of these insurance companies that I represent now. I used to work for them. So that's kind of an added advantage that I bring to the table, that I know internally these organizations that I'm trying to do employee benefits insurance. But it is vital, because most people probably, even when they are doing an interview or looking to change jobs, other than salary, probably benefits and vacation And now there are options to work at home. I understand that's on the list that people are looking for to work hybrid. But employee benefits is just so vital for companies to have. And I understand that it is a major business expense for organizations. But on the flip side of that, what is the cost of turnover if you have good people who are leaving to go to work for someone that's offering them benefits?
Right.
So I work with companies to try to find the most affordable a balance between benefits and cost.
Okay.
You know, find an equilibrium between what you can afford and the best possible benefits you can get for the money that you are spending. Yeah, I will work with many businesses. You know, some of your chamber members,
Right.
working with me. So that's always good.
So talk about that a little bit. As you say, you do work with some of members of the chamber, and I know when you first started your business, venturing out on your own, you made it a very important part of your way of doing business is being in a chamber. So how does that work for you?
Well, you see, the thing about my business is when it comes to like web marketing or online marketing and things like that, where you're trying to pretty much reach a consumer, you do those Facebook ads or the Instagram ads, and you are reaching the masses.
Right.
If you are doing business to consumers, because
Right.
you got a lot of people. But me, the people I need to meet they are the decision makers. I need to meet the treasurer, the controller, the human resource manager.
Right.
Those are the people I need to reach. It's a very niche market
Right.
that I need to target. And you can't reach those people on the phone. Because you know what? They got people to stop you.
Right,
Because
right.
I know
The
as a business,
gatekeepers.
they got because myself, I know how many calls I get every day.
Right.
And to try to, cold call on, occasionally, yes, you may get lucky.
Right.
But I need an introduction. I
Right.
need to be at a chamber meeting, at a networking meeting with the chamber,
Right.
and someone goes, that's so and so. He's the
Right.
president, or that's the human resource manager.
Right.
And then I'm like, I ask Beverly or Miss Paris or somebody on your team, give me an introduction.
Right.
And then they can introduce me to that person, or ask you. You've given me some introductions
Absolutely.
as well.
Absolutely.
So that's how I got to reach my target market. I do some Facebook advertising, and I'm going to be doing more because I'm taking a course in it right now. But I need to reach decision makers, and those people, like you said, they got gatekeepers, and it's hard to reach them unless I got someone who's going to give me an introduction.
Right.
And then I'm in.
Let's talk about that a little bit. Social media. How has social media impacted your business? I mean, I guess Facebook's been around for several years now, Instagram, et cetera, et cetera. And obviously, again, we talked about, I know when I was in insurance, it was you were in the office, you picked up the phone, and that pretty much was it. How has social media impacted your business?
To be perfectly honest, I can't say it has a lot.
Okay.
I do try to post stuff out, pictures, events out there when I am in a business situation to help bring attention to my business.
Right.
I can't say that it has really driven a lot of business my way, but you never know. I mean, I'm taking a course right now that's sponsored by District 5, Elaine Higgins district, who she offered the positive option for 40 spots in this digital marketing class.
Okay.
And to anybody in her district. So
Okay.
I signed up for one of those 40 spots, and it's called BizHack. You may have heard of it.
Yes, I have.
Oh yeah, because your name pops up all the time on the screen. I see
Right.
the chamber name all the time
Well,
on.
we're pretty much engaged with pretty much everything that the county is doing when
Yeah,
it comes to
yeah.
helping businesses.
Yeah, I am taking that course. It's been 4 weeks. It's 2 days a week. And another one of your chamber members are in the class as well.
Okay.
Of your chamber members. So I'm trying to learn something from that. You never can stop learning.
Right.
And trying to expand. So he's given us some ideas that I'm going to try in the area of digital marketing.
Okay. Well, obviously, here we are in 2022, and the last couple of years have been very challenging for business men and women across the board with the pandemic. So how has that affected you, and did you have to pivot? Was there some different way of doing business, challenges that you have met? Let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, fortunately for me, people needed their insurance
Right.
during the pandemic more than anything else. I mean,
Okay.
I know businesses that said, I got to keep my insurance because there's so much uncertainty out there right now.
Right.
So I guess the biggest thing was that some businesses did have to cut back on their employees. So, you know, as the company dwindled down in size, that had some financial impact on me. So I did see some of that, but for the most part, it didn't affect me to a huge extent. I was able to maintain many of my businesses, but probably I didn't it wasn't an opportunity to attract a lot of businesses because people was running in different directions, and if they didn't have a benefit plan at the time, they weren't going to go through the extra expense of implementing one.
Right.
But I had to work closely with my existing customers to you know, keep them happy and provide the services that they need. I did a lot more of everybody, I guess, pivoted to more Zoom.
Right.
You know, I like to give employee meetings when I get a client or at the renewal time, where we sit in front of the employees to make sure they understand their insurance moving forward, answer all their questions, etc. So, you know, that was unheard of. We did not do any employee face-to-face meeting, but we did do a lot of Zoom meetings.
Right.
And what I've learned is that's probably as or more effective than face-to-face meetings.
Right.
Because sometimes people were busy, they didn't have time to come to the meeting. But with these Zoom meetings, people were busy. People were in their car, or you know, at home or wherever they were,
Right.
and they just turned on the Zoom. And I do have customers that have employees in other states, and that worked out a lot better for those employees. So moving forward, we'll probably be doing a lot more of these employee meetings via Zoom.
Okay.
Because we're finding out that they are as effective, I think, as being face-to-face.
Yeah, and I'm sure it saved you some time. You're not running from South Dade to Palm Beach or
Beach,
wherever.
yeah.
And I'm sure you do business in all three counties.
I do business in all three counties, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what does the future look like in terms of insurance? I know, you know, you see the commercials out there, Aflac. You know, you see the Aflac, and you know that's like supplemental insurance.
Yeah.
Can you talk about it a little bit before we wrap up?
Yeah, you know, those policies are getting more and more popular. You know, those are the employer normally does not contribute towards those. It's an optional benefit for people, and you know, it's viable. A lot of people like it. I had a customer who. She had the policies for hospitalization, a supplemental policy for hospitalization, and for I think it was another one for if she had a stroke or a heart attack. And she was going to drop it. And one of my partners who I worked with had a one-on-one with her and said, you know, you sure you want to do this? You may want to keep it. But I tell people, I sell something I hope you never need. I'm the only person that sells something I hope you never need.
Right.
But when you need it, it's priceless. You know what? 6 months later, she had a heart attack.
Oh, wow.
And was in the hospital. That policy paid her so much money. Because she went into intensive care, so like double. But, you know, she was like kissing the ring. So
Right.
I tell people, you know, you can never predict the future. People say, oh, I'm healthy, I don't need it. Oh, yeah, that was yesterday. But you can't predict what's going to happen tomorrow.
That's
but
a
I've
good
had
point.
more than one situation where people, you know, nah, I don't need this. I don't think I'm going to buy it. Nah. And then they keep it and something come up and they can't thank me enough.
Right.
And that's really gratifying to me in those situations. I hate to see you, I don't want to see you sick, but like this friend of mine, she's a friend and a customer.
Right.
But she was really, really thankful that she did not drop that insurance.
Well, you know, that is one good way, well, the fact that, you know, she ended up with a heart attack is not a good story,
Right.
but the fact that providing the resources and what you do, it was a benefit and it helped her out.
It
So,
relieved a lot of tension, a lot of stress.
so if someone wants to get in touch with you, how can they do that?
Well, my phone number is 305-604-8035, and my email address is bwarren@bwar Insurance, it's with an S.com. And I would welcome anybody to please visit my website. It's just BDR, Benefits Design Resources, Insurances.com.
Okay.
You will learn all about me, all about my services, and and I have some testimonials on there from quite a few customers. So you will find out what people think about doing business with me.
All right, Bill. Well, thank you so much. You know, we could sit here and talk for another good half hour, but this has been the Miami-Dade Chamber of Commerce's Member Connection. If you want to learn more about the Chamber, you can go to www.m-dcc.org, or you can call the Chamber at 305-751-8648. Thanks for joining us. Yep. So, oh man.